I'm Chief Crystal Moore from Latta, South Carolina. We're in Dillon County. We're about 63 miles from Myrtle Beach. We're 14 miles from south of the border, where the North Carolina-South Carolina line meets. Our town has a population of about 1,435. I've been working there with the School to Work study program since about the same time Hugo came through. Working at the police department, I ended up being on the streets, trees bending over us, and we were trying to cut it to get a path so the ambulance could come through. Taking the John Deere boats to residents because it had actually flooded in some areas that it was above the waist in different parts of the town. We would actually have to take our rescue squad boat out and put people on the boat just to get them out of a small town. Law enforcement has been my dream and goal. I wanted to be chief of police, and that was the one thing I worked on, and became chief of police 2.5 years ago. Everyone knew me. They knew my family, they knew my partner. Hasn't been any issues, no problems at work. I've never had any reprimands, and all of a sudden we get a new mayor in and they told me to watch my back. He was constantly in my office. I couldn't keep my door open for the public because he was always coming in, shutting the door, and they were all little remarks and threats. And I told everybody, I'm not quitting. He wants me to quit. He's pushing me and harassing me. I called SLED. I said, and the SLED agents came in. I said, look, when citizens come in, I can do a harassment report. Why is it that nobody can help me? Because he's harassing and intimidating me every day at work. And they said, because he's strong mayor. Strong mayor, he's your boss, he can do that.
Strong mayor, if you have the strong mayor form of government, the mayor is responsible for everything. They usually do not have a city manager. The mayor takes care of all the responsibilities the city manager does, and the mayor does not have to get the votes from the council to do whatever he wants to do. So he can make his own decisions. He can hire and fire personnel on his own. Whereas a council form of government, which we have in Greenwood, I have to get votes from 3 other council members to do anything. And we have a city manager, a great city manager, who handles all the responsibility of hiring and firing. And a council form of government, which we have, you're mainly setting policy.
Who's here to protect me? And they said, well, the only thing you can do is start recording. So we started recording everything, and it just got worse. So I actually asked him, you know, I'm hearing these rumors, can we talk? And he was like, oh, don't worry about the rumors. There's nothing to it. I've known you all my life. Don't worry about it. Well, then the very night that I asked him at a council meeting about it, he in turn called one of our council members and told him, was laughing about it. And he told him, he said, I'll tell you, and I'll tell anybody to their face, I would much rather have a dog drunk, taking care of my child than someone that I question their sexuality. I'm not going to have 2 women holding hands or 2 men holding hands in front of me. That's not going to happen. That's not the damn way it's supposed to be. That's his words. So after I heard that, I knew all the harassment and intimidation was towards me because of my sexuality. I was doing a job. I had no problems, no complaints, and never had any reprimands. And after that, I still continued to do my job, and all of a sudden one day he calls me and he gives me 7 reprimands, and I read them. He tells me to read them out loud, and I know they're bogus. I know I've followed my policies and procedures. I've done exactly what the law has told me and allowed me to do. It was heartbreaking to know that my job performance, my work ethics, meant nothing to him because of his personal beliefs of my sexuality caused him to hate me enough to take away my job. He stripped me of everything. The years of hard work that I put into that town to make it to be chief. I mean, I worked up the ranks from a dispatcher, school resource officer, recreation director part-time. Because of the power he has as mayor, being strong mayor, he stripped everything I had worked for all my life away. Like that. It was gone. I had no idea that he had let the local news media, Dillon Herald, know that I'd been fired. And within an hour of me boxing up my stuff from my office, I was emotional wreck, walking out the door, and when I get out, it's surrounded from one side of the town hall all the way over all townspeople, county people, people even from neighboring counties were there because they had heard, and people were calling people.
It was really an emotional story because you heard how this town came together to unite for this woman, you know, and they fought against prejudice. You know, the woman was terminated just on the basis of her sexual preference, you know, and that's wrong. And you know, she's been doing a great job. She's been there for 23 years, so you know, clearly it's a heartwarming story. It's great to hear about a town coming together to overcome prejudice.
It was just amazing to walk out and see such support, knowing that my heart was broke. It was like they were already there to mend it because they were there standing up for me.